So, I just want to talk about a short little concept that I've had to start struggling with a couple years ago in my life as somebody who's been helping women with birth. And that's the concept of am I more loyal to being a midwife or more loyal to women? Do I love being a midwife or do I love women? And it's really nice when in our life these questions don't conflict with each other. But I want to just talk about a little bit some of my own journey as I've had to think about this question. So when I was young, I was about 16 years old when I started becoming interested in becoming a midwife. And it wasn't until later when I began studying midwifery that I realized that in a certain way, I was more interested in this identity and all the things that come with it, and all the whatever that comes with being a midwife, than I was with actually thinking about individual women and meeting them to serve them where they are. So, for example, it was really hard for me to think of an example of where I felt this conflict inside myself. But I had to go through like even a period of years where I had to transfer my loyalties from this identity or this word of midwife to being loyal to women. Because sometimes it is uncomfortable to be more loyal to women than to whatever the idea of being a midwife has become in our age or in our situation. So I kind of like just tried to think of an example. So I thought about my own self, like people who do unassisted births. Like when I was younger and I was studying midwifery, I was so loyal to the concept of midwifery. It was just like beyond my comprehension. How dare someone have a baby without a midwife, you know? It just was something I couldn't accept. So I think about my own journey and how I came to choose having an unassisted birth. And I actually did have a midwife for my first unassisted birth. There wasn't a midwife present, but there was a midwife that we called. She agreed to help us in our unassisted birth. So she didn't live anywhere close to us. She lived in another country, and we called her. We could choose what we wanted from her, and we called her once during the pregnancy, and she answered all our questions that we had. Then during the birth, we called her and woke her up because I think I was in transition and I was just so confused by what was going on and what I was feeling. And she, it's interesting that she didn't, when I called her in transition and I was like, I just don't know what's going on. Like, here's the situation. I don't know what's going on. And she thought for a while and she didn't tell me what to do. She asked me a question. She said, "Do you really feel that something is wrong? Or are you just confused?" And I knew immediately that I was just confused. I didn't feel like anything was wrong with the situation. And we hung up, and then we had our baby. And then, okay, so I don't tell a lot of people this, but for several hours after that, my placenta didn't come out. And so it got toward the evening, and I wanted to go to bed. And I didn't want to go to sleep with a placenta inside me. So I called her again. I'm like, how do we get the placenta out? So she just squat on the bed and, push and it'll come out. And it just did. It plopped right out. It was probably already detached and kind of just sitting there somewhere, like either inside the upper vagina or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, well, all I'm saying is that we have our ideas of what it means to be a midwife, and midwifery is such it has become so legalized, like all these rules and laws and everything that, we know I mean, well-intentioned people make those laws. I'm not saying they have evil intention, but it's taking the ability to be a human and decide things for yourself, to have agency. It's taking, sometimes these laws, it takes that away from women. And in like the most horrible sense was what I just finished, this Midwife in Auschwitz book. And this midwife, they actually either killed the baby, some of them, a lot of them, or the other people killed the baby, or the Germans would take it and put it up for adoption. So like this is like the most extreme example where agency is taken away from people. Okay, so I don't want to say like that we should not obey laws, because we have to understand that we have to be able to be honest with people and just say, I'm at a time in my life where I don't feel like I can risk this. I don't think I can risk my license or whatever. Like I have young children. I don't think that I can risk helping you in this way, but I can help you find somebody that can help you. Where you're actually helping women and not just defending what you think, what is our idea of what is a midwife. And can we really love women and support them in what maybe God is leading them to do? Even it doesn't guarantee that they'll have fabulous outcomes. They might, but that's just something that I've had to struggle with over the years. Is, am I going to love my identity as a midwife or as a doula? Am I going to love that identity and that profession above loving an individual woman and helping her with the knowledge that I have and the means and the resources that I have? So that's just one question that I've had to think about, and we'll all probably have to think about over and over again as we live our lives as midwives. So thanks for listening.